This program is brought to you by FreeKeen.com. FreeKeen.com features audio, video, and blogs chronicling the transition to a voluntary society. FreeKeen.com also has comments and discussion forums so you can be heard. FreeKeen.com.
And I'm just sort of telling you some highlights of his statement, which went on for maybe 15 minutes. He said to the judge, quote, "You finally opened yourself to liability. How does it feel?" Unquote. He said something that I think the average person could relate to a little bit more. He said the federal government was in bankruptcy. In the past, Riley has claimed that the federal government is run by international bankers. And again, there may be some truth to that if you look at how the federal government has handled the banking crisis and how it seems to be in bed with big banks. Maybe there's something to that claim. Riley also said, quote, "I'm not asking this court to show mercy because I'm not the defendant," unquote. He said he requested 66 witnesses and the government wouldn't let him have any. By the way, I asked the government for responses on a lot of these stuff, and I couldn't get one. I'll talk about that later. He said video from the Brown house shot by federal personnel was doctored. There may be some truth to that. The video that I have of the botched raid on June 7th, where Riley was tasered, does go in and out of low resolution mode. There's a part of it, the most boring part is all mostly in high resolution, and the interesting part that would be of use to the defense was mostly in low resolution. And there was, of course, some speculation that the feds were hiding some of the information by reducing the quality of the video. From what I saw, it's a little bit hard for me to show you on YouTube, but when I looked at the video on my editing software, the video, the high-quality video, appeared to be about twice as high of a quality, twice as high of a resolution as the low-quality video. Riley brought up the issue of what he called helmet camera video. I didn't know anything about that, hadn't heard about that, and said he never got the helmet camera video from the people who raided the Brown home on, I guess, like around June 7th, 2007. Again, many of Riley's arguments, were not the kind that would appeal to the average person. But, in a free country, it's safe to have bizarre theories. It's safe to mouth off to public officials if you don't threaten them. It's safe to build your own weapons. And, in the 40s in New Hampshire, you could actually you could buy dynamite from the general store. So if he's alleged to have attempted to, purchase explosive materials, then he's doing something that was completely lawful in the 40s and 50s in New Hampshire. That, of course, leaves another issue, though, the fact that he was alleged to have threatened to use these weapons against the government if they came on the Brown property. But again, no allegation was ever made that he had any aggressive intent with the weapons. It seemed as though even the government was saying his intent was defensive in nature. The judge said that there was some sort of a competency hearing to determine whether Danny is crazy, and I don't know. I didn't see that, and I don't know how that went. But the judge that seemed to be a non-issue during this sentencing. The judge said he felt that Danny Riley was intelligent. He said he believed that Danny Riley considered these issues relevant. He said it's unfortunate his friends are urging him to jump off the cliff, and they are not jumping off with him. Although he wasn't saying they should jump off with him, he just seemed to be saying it was hypocritical for them to urge, allegedly, Danny Riley to make these weird arguments, and then that would get him in a lot of trouble, but not go make them themselves and get themselves in trouble. Let's see, what else? As complex and hard to understand as Danny Riley's conspiracy or whatever his theories may have been, the federal government's sentencing representations were probably just as complex and hard to understand. They used the term, they accused him of possessing a firearm, had convicted him of possessing a firearm in connection with a crime of violence. I think that's a quote. Possessing a firearm in connection with crime of violence. And I think they said there was a mandatory 30-year sentence for that, but I'm not clear. And of course, again, there wasn't actually any violence committed by Danny Riley as far as I know, and I don't think there's no charge that he committed any kind of violence. So, how could he be convicted of having, committed a crime of violence when he wasn't really? I mean, it's like he wasn't really charged with that. He was, maybe charged with making threats to use defensive violence, but no violence was ever actually used.
This program is brought to you by freekeen.com.